Why is there so much pushback on them winning the championship when they're clearly the best team in the NBA? Like, why does nobody? It seems like there's definitely people that believe in them. I know me and you both are high on them, but there's a lot more people pushing back on them than I would expect after seeing what we've seen this year and last year. Yeah. They've gotten better. So what's the deal? What's going on with them?
I think that's what the problem is. It's because of what we've seen in the past. Last year, them being down 3-0, even though they came back and had a legit opportunity or legit shot to beat the Miami Heat. And the year before that, when they were in the NBA Finals and how bad those guys played, that's the optics that people have. That's all that they can go off of. And the fact that no matter what these guys are doing this year, even though I look at, and I'm going to sound like a stat nerd right now when I say that their net rating, and I don't know if you guys know this, but your net rating is, points, possessions, how much you produce per 100 possessions, how efficient you are. That's what your net rating is. And as of today, Big Ox, in March of 2024, there's only 2 other teams in NBA history who have a better net rating than them. And both those teams won the NBA championship.
What is their net rating?
It's almost a 12. It's an 11.8. And of that, I was doing some homework, and I believe in the last 10 years, there has not been a team that's had a net rating this high that has not won the NBA championship. The closest team was San Antonio, and with them I think they were 11-4. That was the year that I thought Kawhi Leonard should have got an MVP vote, but that's another conversation for another day. But anyway, I think they were at an 11-4 in 2015, 2016. They had won 67 games that year. But everything that this team has done, there is no reason for me watching them. There is no reason for me seeing everything I see from this team in terms of a production standpoint. Everything that you need to win the NBA championship, they have it. They have a top 5 defense in the league. They have the highest net rating since the 96, 97 Chicago Bulls, who won 69 games and won the NBA championship. In the last 20 years, there have been 7 teams that has led the league in net rating and not won the NBA championship. In the last 10 years, it's only been 1. And the Boston Celtics are the only team. The Boston Celtics are the only team to not, as of yet, win the NBA championship with having a net rating this high. They have a top 5 defense in the league. Everything that's necessary to win the NBA championship, they have it. It's just now a matter of them going out and doing it. I understand how people feel about Jaylen Brown. I understand that he can be turnover prone from time to time. I understand that Jason Tatum can disappear from time to time. I do understand that. And those things have to be thwarted. Those things have to be proven that you are better than that. Otherwise, this is what people are going to be stuck on. But everything that these guys have done on paper, they're on pace to win 65 games this season. In the process of them doing that, they have the best team in the league and the most complete team in the league. And there's no reason why, with everything that they have, if they just continue doing what they were doing, that they shouldn't win the NBA championship. There's no reason why.
Okay, chill town. Can we break down this net rating thing real quick? So you said it's per 100 possessions, and their net rating is 12?
11.8.
11.8. Mm-hmm. So per 100 possessions, what does the 11.8 number represent?
Like, point differential. Point differential. Point, not just point differential, but player efficiency per 100 possessions. So when these guys are on the floor, when this team is on the floor, they're plus almost 12 in terms of efficiency and point differential. That means they smoking everybody. Big Ox, in the last 8 games that the Boston Celtics have had at home, they've won by an average margin, I think 27. They smoking everybody. They're smoking everybody. So I'm thinking to myself, with everything that I've seen from you guys, why aren't you the undisputed favorites? Why is everybody looking at you like, well, we're not sure that you can do it? Because nobody said that about the Bulls. Nobody said that about the Bulls. Nobody said that about the Warriors. The only team that I remember that had a net rating that was that high, not that high, but that was the number 1 seed and had a net rating, with the exception of the Warriors in the 15-16 season when they lost to the Cavs. The 93-94, in the last 30 years, the 93-94 Seattle Supersonics, when they lost in the first round, and the Houston Rockets end up winning the NBA championship, which was a luxury for the Houston Rockets. Why? Because Seattle owned them. Seattle ended up running into a buzzsaw in the Denver Nuggets. because this is the same Seattle Supersonic team that dropped Houston. This is the same Seattle Supersonics team that dropped Houston 6 times in 8 years, including the back-to-back Houston Rockets championship team that won it in 94-95. Seattle, the next year in 95-96, swept them out the playoffs. This is the same team that wasn't in the playoffs. They lost in the first round in 94. They had the best net rating in the league that year. So if Houston sees them, I think that Houston is out. With that being said, the Boston Celtics have everything necessary in order to win the NBA championship this year. It's just a matter of going out and doing it on a consistent basis. You've done it on a consistent basis for the entire season. They only got 14 games left. If they win 10 of those 14 games, that's 64 wins, Big Ox. 64 wins. There's no reason with the crew that they have, Drew Holiday being a defender that he is. He's basically a better version of Marcus Smart. You now have the stretch 5 in KP that you didn't have in the past. You got Jason Tatum, who's also playing at an MVP level. You have Jaylen Brown, who's also playing at a great level this season. You got one of the best rotations in the league. There's arguably a case arguably for Pritchard to be one of the better backup lead guards in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Cornette, I wasn't a big fan of his initially, but the fact that they now get Cater back in the lineup, he's going to help them out even more.
Mm-hmm.
Derek White is one of the best utility players in the game. The way I felt about the Denver Nuggets last season is exactly the way I feel about the Boston Celtics. I feel like they're the most complete team in the NBA, and there's no reason why they shouldn't win the NBA championship this year unless there's an injury or you guys have a catastrophic failure. There's no reason why you guys shouldn't win it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Showtime, if they don't win it, regardless of why, regardless of how, and regardless of the fashion that they lose, no matter what series, what round, if they don't win it this year, Jaylen Brown is out of there.
He might be, Big Ox. They might do something in terms of a knee-jerk reaction and decide that, maybe this thing just isn't working and we're going to go in a different direction. They may do that. They may very well do that, and I think it'll be a mistake because I'm not, under no circumstances am I breaking up Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I'm not doing it.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. The player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.